Jordan of the Critical Cat here with Barry MacKay of Born Free. Barry, can you tell us a little bit about your organization and why you're out here at the Oak Bay Deer Call today?
Sure. Born Free is literally international, but I'm their Canadian representative. They've got offices in various parts of the United States and Europe and other continents even. And my special interest is in wildlife, and particularly wildlife in trade and conflicts. And I've been dealing with this sort of thing for, well, all my life, all my professional life certainly. For 25 years I wrote a nature column for the Toronto Star, the country's largest newspaper, and I am first and foremost a naturalist. So I approach these issues, particularly of culling and urban and rural and wilderness conflict situations with wildlife, from that perspective as a naturalist.
Okay, so what, with your experience and with Born Free, the organization, what's your interest out here in Oak Bay specifically? Like, I mean, what did you come out here to do?
Well,
you were at the Oak Bay Council meeting
right.
today,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, Oak Bay is each of these communities that I have been in, where there's been a conflict between people and animals. Each one is a little bit different, but they all have a certain sameness to them. And so what the people who support me want, which is our membership, a very large membership, wants of us, is to present a view that takes a more compassionate view of wildlife, and also, I would have to say, a more objective and science-based view of wildlife and conflicts. So partly it is to educate myself on the specifics as they pertain to Oak Bay, but also I'm interested in using what I know and what my colleagues know and what scientists know and so forth to try to prevent what is really, no matter how you do it, no matter how you cut it, a very abusive situation that doesn't resolve the problems.
Yeah.
That's the irony. People think that there's a conflict. It could be raccoons or geese or crows or whatever it is, and if we just kill them, it will be okay. It doesn't always work that way. There are situations when it may, but normally it doesn't, and particularly so with deer. And yet there are solutions that can work and do work if people think about it and if they have enough information to draw upon.
So as somebody who's been obviously working with wildlife for a very long time now and has a lot of experience, when you look at the way Oak Bay's handled this, and when you look at the research that maybe the ministry's presented, which seems out of date and not doesn't really address this region whatsoever. I mean, what do you think as somebody with that kind of experience?
Well, again, it's not new.
Yeah.
I encounter it all the time.
Yeah.
First of all, at the council meeting, it was more or less admitted that obviously, and understandably, the Oak Bay Council doesn't have the expertise.
No.
So they draw upon those organizations, and particularly state and provincial and federal governments, who tell them, well, you've got to do this, or you can do this, or what. They don't really care. I don't want to overstate it, but again and again, what the answer is that they want to stop the calls from coming in.
Yeah.
When we know the size of the population, or we think we do, because again, we're taking the word of people who actually go in the field and count them, which I don't believe has been done here, then what we find out is that year after year, after cull, sometimes the number goes up. That's happened back home at Short Hills Provincial Park.
Right.
3 consecutive years they had a cull, and 3 consecutive years their numbers went up.
Right.
Same thing has happened in the Kootenays. It's fairly typical. And I don't think the people who are afraid of the deer are bad people. They're misinformed. They don't know much about deer. They don't know much about animals. There's no particular reason they should, but unfortunately, they think that, well, if I walk out the door, and something dreadful is going to happen.
Yeah.
It could, but the chances are so vanishingly remote.
It's true, right? I mean, the vilification of the deer has been a huge part of Oak Bay's campaign to promote the cull and such.
Yeah.
And they've used whatever tactics from the ticks, of course, and Lyme disease, to car collisions, to the deer jumping over fences and trampling children, dogs. I mean everything. They hang on to any little thing, and a lot of it's just unfounded completely, right?
Yeah, it's unfounded, or it's based on an anecdote that really is at best questionable.
Well, thanks so much for coming out here, Barry. It's really great having you. Barry, something that we do on the Critical Cat, we haven't done it for a while, actually, and I'm going to have to get Liz to do one too, is we ask people what their favorite animal is.
Oh boy. Right now, it's probably the most wild of any animal that you would want to talk about.
I want to know.
The double-crested cormorant.
The double-crested cormorant.
You knew it would be a bird.
Yeah, yes. I knew that. You talked lots about birds this week.
Right, but honestly, this is the most misunderstood bird in eastern North America. It's not so bad out here. In fact, it's quite good out here. But in the east, they were just about wiped out. They were just about exterminated twice.
Okay.
And they came back the second time. It was from DDT and so forth. And as they did, people thought, well, they were an invasive species, they were exploding, they were out of control, all the usual arguments you hear, they're eating all the fish. Every study showed that they really don't have tiny exceptions, like in a compound or a bay or something, they don't have a negative effect on sport fish. And that they're killing the vegetation and so forth, that they're unprecedented numbers, all
false research. Yeah.
So I'd say double-crested cormorant.
Okay, so what we do ask people to do is their best impression of their favorite animal if they have it in them.
Well, of course, as an artist, I love painting.
Well, you've done many impressions.
And I did illustrate a very good book on double-crested cormorant by Linda Wires, which puts she's a scientist, and she explains all this in great detail. And they are tremendous parents. I hate to be anthropomorphic, but the fact is both parents will not abandon the young. One or the other is always there. The mother will bring water to cool them down. And they feed them. They're very affectionate. They even after the young have left, the male and the female still will neck, literally, because they have long necks, and they will cuddle, and they're remarkable birds. They're beautiful. They have lovely colors if you get to see them up close. They're quite very well adapted to the environment.
Can I get a double-crested cormorant call out of you? Do you know?
No. They have a hoarse sort of a croak.
Okay.
So my voice wouldn't even get anywhere near that.
Okay, well, we had to try.
I can do a mute swan, though.
Okay, I'll take a mute swan.
There you go.
Beautiful.
No, they do hiss a little. That's another bird that I've worked to protect. Mute swans. Believe it or not, there are people who want to kill mute swans. So it never ends.
People want to kill just about anything they can kill, including other people.
Yeah, truly.
And this is no different with the deer or mute swans or double-crested cormorants. So
for sure.
Thanks again for your time. I really appreciate it. It's been great meeting you.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thanks, Barry.